Hi friends, this is a DHANTERAS special new video of the Why series. Why the gold is called the king of all metals. If we see on our earth, the earth is the abode of many metals. So scientists have figured out till now 92 metal exist on the earth. So, and all these metals have been put together in the proper orderly arrangement by these two scientists Mendeleev and Moseley, and we call that as a periodic table. Now, out of these 92 metal, the question comes, why only the gold is regarded as the king of all metal? What is so special about this metal? So, let's investigate. We will bucketize this into the three different categories. The first one is abundance, whether this metal is available in the nature in small quantity or bigger quantity. That is the first thing we will discuss. The second question comes, what are the exceptional property that it shows to be qualified as the king of all metals? And the third one is, what is the life of this metal? How long this live? So let's understand our journey with the abundance. Now if we talk on our earth crust, there are many metals exist in the different percentage. If you see the oxygen, which is in the 46.6%, and as we go down it decreases. But when we talk about the gold, which is very small percentage is available, less than 5 into 10 to the power minus 6. That means after 0 you put a 1 2 3 4 5 and then you will get a 5. So this is so much small percentage is available on the earth crust. That is one of the reason that it is so precious, because the supply is very less. Now let's see the striking property of this metal. Now if you see any metal, it has so many properties, like they are strong, they are very hard, they conduct electricity, they are shiny, they conduct heat, they have the very high melting point, they are malleable, they are ductile. And gold shows a very striking property, and one of them is the ductility. Ductility is nothing but capability of the metal to draw wires without breaking. If you take this small piece of gold, okay, we can convert into the so many big wires, and you will be surprised to know that if we take just a 1 gram of gold, we can actually convert from this 2 kilometer wire length. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Now the next question comes, what we are going to do with so thin wire? Okay, and the answer lies in the electronics industry. If you see the circuits that we make, they are very small, and they are placed inside the chip, which is the size of a pinhead. So what we want, if you see, these are the microprocessor, they are so much small, and the entire circuit should be placed in such a small space. How that is possible? Because we make from them gold. Gold has the very high electrical conductivity, extraordinary resistance for deterioration, and it's a very ductile quality, because of which gold is in a great demand by across all the countries because of this electronics desire. Now another striking property of the gold is malleability, which is nothing but pounding into the very thin intact solid seeds like this. Okay, and if you take a one human hair, just a one hair, okay, and if I zoom this hair little bit, the size of or the diameter of this human hair is 65 micron. But we can actually convert the sheet of the gold much smaller than this. You can see this is just a 0.4 micron. Here it's a 65 micron, 0.4 micron. That means this sheet is actually 160 times thinner than thickness of your one hair. Oh my god, that's amazing, isn't it? And you will be surprised to know that in 1911, a scientist called Rutherford actually produced a gold foil that was approximately 1000 atom thick to understand the structure of atom. And based on his experiment, he told that if you take any kind of atom, nucleus is the inside available and the electrons are revolving around it. It was only possible because of so much thinner gold sheet, and was so thick, so thin, that 250 times thinner than the one human ear. This was the historical moment in the history of science. Isn't it amazing? Now the next question comes, what we will do with these so thin sheets, isn't it? So these thin sheets are actually used to reflect a large portion of sun infrared rays. If you see, this is the building. Now during the summertime, you will get a lot of sun rays, lot of heat. So this building will actually become so much heated. In order to avoid that heat, we put basically the gold sheets here on these windows. And because of this, what will happen? Lot of the light will get reflected. It is approximately 40% of the light get reflected, so you are saving a lot of energy, isn't it? That's one of the reason. Second is, when you go in the outer space, all these astronauts, they actually put a very thin gold coating on their helmet, so that any kind of unfiltered light which is coming from sun actually will not pass through them. It will get reflected and you will get saved. So these are the few just example, but there are many more with these thin sheets, isn't it? So these are the two striking property of the gold, because of which it is called the king of all metals. Now let's understand the very interesting phenomena, what is the life of this metal is, how long this lives. So one more thing is, it lives forever. What's the meaning of that? That means you cannot destroy the gold by any means. It is indestructible, undestroyable. Okay, let's understand a very interesting real story. Okay, we all of know the scientist Niels Bohr. He was the person who actually made the foundational contribution in understanding the atomic structure and quantum theory, and for which he received the Nobel Prize in 1922 in physics. And this is how his gold medal was looking like. If you see, this gold medal is not just a piece of metal, it is approximately 200 gram with a diameter of 66 millimeter. It's a 23 karat gold. It's a matter of pride for them. And if you talk, it's a huge amount of reward money actually. It's a $12,000 USD dollar, equivalent to 9 lakh rupees, given for any remarkable contribution to the scientist. That's why people are so much fond of getting the Nobel Prize, isn't it? Now, what happened? Around 1935 in Germany, Hitler government actually prohibited that citizen from accepting any Nobel Prize or keeping the Nobel Prize. They have to return it back. That was the order given by the Hitler around that time frame. So there were two physicists, Max von Ley and the James Franck. They sent their 23rd karat gold medal to the Niels Bohr Institute of Theoretical Physics in Copenhagen for protection. Okay, but what happened? On the day when the Nazis, when they came to Copenhagen, there was a chemist, George Harrison, who was working in the lab. And then he thought, why not I dump all these gold medal inside the earth, and then they will, we can actually hide them. But the Bohr told, no, we shouldn't do that, because Germans are too smart. They will dig up the ground, garden, and search everywhere, and finally they can find them out. And then it's too dangerous. Correct? Life will be on stake. So now the question comes, what to do? So what Hershey did actually, he turned to the chemistry, turned to the science. He thought, okay, can I make these metals disappear? Can I do some sort of a magic? So what he thought, okay, let's dissolve them. But gold is not so easy to dissolve, isn't it? And where the invading forces, they were marching in the street of Copenhagen, and this guy was thinking that how to dissolve them. He was busy to find out some sort of a solution to dissolve them. And after a lot of effort, he figured it out that there is a particular chemical exists we call aqua regia, which is nothing but one part of hydrochloric acid and one part of nitric acid. So 3 part HCl and 1 part HNO3. If you mix them, you get a solution we call aqua regia. Now, this is a special solution. Why? Because in this, if you put any kind of gold, it start dissolving. Remember, it is dissolving only, it is mixing, it is not destroying. Okay, so what happens? Hersey actually in his biography, he has written that gold is exceedingly unreactive. It doesn't dissolve. It is a very difficult to dissolve the gold, and it was very slow process. Minute was tickling, and all those people actually was in the search of those gold medals. By the time the Nazis arrived, both the awards have been liquefied inside the flask, and then this have been stashed on the high laboratory. This was possible because of the science only. Okay, so this is the rare photo of those legends who disappeared the gold with the power of science. Amazing, isn't it? So again, the question is why the gold is called the king of all metals? The first one, abundance. It is found in a very small quantity. After decimal, 5 zeros are there. Exceptional property, it shows the ductility, it shows the malleability, apart from many other metallic properties. Life of the metal, it remains forever. You cannot destroy this piece of metal. It is impossible. Hope you understand now why we call the gold is the king of all metals. Thank you. Keep learning.